That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
No tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Fairly alarmed here.
Welcome to MOTN Reviews, where we look into some of Hollywood's most cinematic supernovas and some that are not so brightly lit. You can always find this tournament of a podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and Spotify. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G, and I'm happy to bring back to the show Brian.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
How's it going, everybody?
Good morning to you.
It's a doozy. What's a daisy?
Wherever you're listening, I hope that you're having a good one. Thanks for having me back, Mike. How you doing?
Of course, man. You know, I'm copacetic, man. That means to the good, bruh. I'm doing all right. Yeah. Oh, man.
Doing all right.
Doing all right. All right, all right, all right.
All right, all right. You know, I could do that for just hours. Like, when
Same
I get
here.
started, it's like, all right, all right, all right.
Let's do it to infinity, right?
Yes, absolutely. So, what's going on this morning? What are we doing?
Man, we're reviewing a film, dude.
A film?
A film. You know,
I've never heard of such a thing.
No, man. There's movies, and then there's cinema, and then there's films. You know, it's like Freddy Got Fingered. It's a movie, right? But Metropolis is like a cinema. But this is a film.
It's a film.
As a film.
So as a film and a movie goes, let me ask you, is there a time limit on these? Is there, like, you know, can a short be a film and a movie?
Depends on the quality of the creative property. It's not the time that makes it a film, a cinema, or a movie. It's the quality.
The quality
of the creator of the product. Man.
So Simpsons the movie is definitely a movie.
It's a movie.
Not a film.
It says it in the title. That is a movie.
Excellent.
They knew exactly what they were going to be doing.
And Film Critic is just the show.
Yes.
That's not a film or a movie.
But like Lady Bird is a cinema.
Yes, it's like going out to the theater.
Yeah, the theater. I'm going to go view a cinema.
Absolutely.
You know? No popcorn.
Absolutely.
No
popcorn.
drinks.
No. Little small
there,
brochure.
Maybe a little very thin cigarette. You know?
Well, now you're talking back in the day.
Yeah,
like,
man.
If you try to smoke in a theater
you
today,
get shot.
You might.
You get tased.
You absolutely might.
Nowadays, the theater custodians have tasers and shit. Dude.
Let me ask you, and I don't want to call you out. You know, I don't know what you moved, Cinemia, or what you use, Cinemia, Movie Pass, whatever the case may be. But are you a take the treats into the movie type of guy?
Bro, it depends on the squad.
Stop.
You know what? I'm not above it. Real talk. I'm not above it. Like, the funniest thing in the world is that when I went to go see Black Panther, you know, everybody walked in, clean tables. When everybody walked out, I saw buckets of chicken and shit, and people brought hot sauce to the theater and left it there. Cats have 2-liter sodas. Like, how'd you sneak a 2-liter soda into a movie theater?
Do you think the concession people care? Like, when they're checking
the people
movie,
working there,
people
don't give a shit.
Physically working there,
they don't
when
care.
You walk in with a 2-liter soda.
It's security that cares.
Yeah, they just have a 2-liter soda.
No, like, only people who care are the actual cats who own the theater.
Yeah.
The people who work there can care less.
Well, I have to be honest. A 2-liter soda in movie money is like
$35. Like $20.
Yeah, like $35.
You breaking a C note on that shit.
I think a 20 is very generous. So,
yeah.
At any rate,
let's talk about what we're reviewing. This film, right? This masterpiece of celluloid. This debuted maybe at the best time it possibly could have. You know, right at the peak of how hype it could possibly have gotten.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it was madness. Everybody was crazy. Quarters were flying. I mean,
it couldn't have come out at a better time. Like, 1995 is the year that this film came out.
Arcade still existed.
Arcade still existed. Directed by Paul W. S. Anderson. I want to make sure I have that distinction. This is not directed by the guy who made The Geely Limited or Isle of Dogs. You know what I mean? This is definitely one of those movies that is legit one of a kind and an all-time classic. We're talking about Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat!
I could just do the beat all day. This damn movie.
I have a fun fact about that before we get started.
Yeah.
I just want to say that little intro and all the music throughout the course, probably one of the best like house type tracks.
I didn't know what house was until I saw this movie.
Well, there was Bad Boy Bill and Bobby D sets the night on the Chicago stuff, city stuff. But Mortal Kombat made house like, well, what's this?
It was Mortal Kombat, and this was before Blade, mind you.
Oh,
that had excellent house music,
absolutely,
by like the Crystal Method and stuff like that. You know
absolutely,
what I'm saying? But this was before that.
I won a talent show, dancing with another person, a young lady. Won a talent show with a young lady dancing to this song, and it was absolutely incredible. I remember, and I just want to say for the record, that's a fun little fact for this podcast.
Absolutely, man. Hey, that's pretty dope, dude. Like this, you have history with this film just based on the music alone.
Just based on the music, I remember performing in flips and roundabouts. That was, young Brian. But anyway, back to the movie.
So where were you in your life when you saw this movie for the first time?
I was home, dude. I was playing video games a lot. So I don't believe I went to the movie theater to see it. I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But I do absolutely remember watching it at home on a VHS. And it was fantastic.
Man, during this time, Mortal Kombat was the biggest thing in the world. Like, it took over the world. Like, it was the most controversial video game. Mortal Kombat's the reason that the MPAA exists. This is the original game that caused that rating system to be created because of the fatalities and the blood. Fatality. And it just was so different. It was made by American developers during a time when there wasn't really such a thing. Right? You had Atari, which was dying. You had Nintendo, which was thriving. And then out of nowhere, you get this American fighting game where there was no such thing. It was Street Fighter or bust back then.
That's it.
And this is like Street Fighter 2, mind you.
Correct.
So Mortal Kombat came and just took over the planet.
And it was violent for the 90s.
Oh, that was the game your mom wouldn't buy you, right?
Would not buy you.
You got to go to your friend's house to play it.
You see the scorpion taking the spine out, and you're like, "Wow, that was kind of cool." But,
Johnny Cage doing his fatalities and stuff, and you have to put in the blood code so that you can get the blood code.
Blood code. I was gonna say because it wasn't green. In the game?
Yeah, originally that was the Super Nintendo version. Yeah, you have to put in a weird blood code, but the Genesis version, which everybody had, was the one that actually had just the natural blood in it.
The natural blood. There you go.
So when we found out that there was a Mortal Kombat movie coming out, we were just like, what? Like how? Like how is this? How are they going to do it? Like how do they do it? And I remember I was in Georgia visiting family, and I was a little kid. Mikey Short Pants, not ready for this movie. I had didn't know what to expect. Didn't know I would like this kind of music. And the movie just starts with that Mortal Kombat, and everyone just starts screaming in the theaters. Like kids are just losing their minds, and it just doesn't stop with the coolness and the '90s coolness. And by the time the movie was over, it was raining in Georgia. So yeah, he had a bunch of me and my cousins running around doing kicks in the rain, screaming Mortal Kombat, and our parents were like, we don't know what to do with them. For the rest of the night, they're wrecked.
Correct.
We're just karate kicking each other and get over here and pulling our shirts and doing all types of crazy stuff, man.
Well, I would say that it had a heavy impact simply because I quote Mortal Kombat quite a bit. I will be walking down the street and I will just out of nowhere, your soul is mine. And, things of that nature. So I didn't quite realize that I was doing it until I went back and I rewatched this film, and I was like, you know what? I quote like 3 or 4 of these quotes all the time.
Like, how many times have you been reaching for something and you're just like, get over here? You just grab it. And you're like, it's naturally.
So iconic.
Right?
You have to save the world.
Sorry.
Yeah, like,
That's another thing.
Classic.
That's one thing I did want to mention about this movie is that it had something I never thought it was going to have, and that's a sense of humor. Everybody, and it's such a low key, dry sense of humor that it's not. This almost is like an archetype for Marvel movies in a weird way. If you think about it, if you really think about it, it's faithful to the source material. It's not an original story, which it builds on a story. It modernizes the characters, and it has an undercurrent of comedy. Because every character has a slight sense of humor on some level.
You are correct. It is definitely not Enter the Dragon.
It's not Enter the Dragon.
No
dry.
comedy.
It was serious stuff was going down in Enter the Dragon.
Correct.
Stakes were had. And not to say that the state of billions are dependent upon your victory.
Oh, that's the
Sorry. I mean, from Liu Kang to Johnny Cage, of course, to Sonya Blade to Raiden. Even Shang Tsung had some zingers. He's like, are you that eager to die? You know what I mean? Like, he had some jokes in him. Kano, for that matter.
Kano. Come here, baby.
I've been waiting. I've studied all your moves.
So great.
So great. So iconic.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it started, I was kind of, let's watch Mortal Kombat. I wasn't amped. And then as soon as I heard that famous intro that you're talking about, you can't help it. And all of a sudden you're off on a ride.
You're back in it. Like, you cannot feel like watching Mortal Kombat until the intro. 2-3 seconds into this movie, you're already just zoned in. Yeah. And you have that okay, let's start talking about the movie.
Absolutely.
And yes, we're going to get to spoilers. So if you've never seen Mortal Kombat, please watch this movie. Even if you're not a fighting game fan, just watch this movie.
It's about time you go back and watch.
It's about time you go back and watch you some Mortal Kombat because it is a classic. And honestly, outside of this and like Event Horizon are the only 2 movies I like from Paul W.S. Anderson.
I didn't realize he did Event Horizon.
Right?
But,
he was.
Bravo.
I could see why people gave him money.
Yeah,
because he has an eye for filmmaking. Like, the guy has chops.
Well, we'll get to the filmmaking.
I'm not saying this is. I'm not saying this is. Some kind of film classic. It is. But it's not Gone with the Wind, though.
Are you not calling it cinema? You're not.
This is not a cinema.
Theater.
No, you have popcorn with this.
It has gravitas. Right?
It has heavy gravitas, dude. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So as we get started with,
let's get started at the beginning of the movie.
There you go.
How does this thing open, right? So we open with some random character fighting. What we know as a random character fighting Shang Tsung at some sick ass temple. Mind you, this is before heavy CG, so every set is handmade. It's on location.
Pretty beautiful.
It's beautiful venues and scenery in this film across the board, right? So we're in, I want to say Tibet or somewhere like that, like ancient China. It's undisclosed Earth realm location. You know what I mean? And you see Shang Tsung, who's played by Carrie of, I can't remember his last name, but the actor himself is possibly steals this movie. Shang Tsung steals this movie.
We have a little surprise coming towards the end, and I just want to say that I could not recast Shang Tsung.
I had to. You have to.
I thought, and I couldn't do it.
No, you have to.
This is the guy. So
he still is the guy because it doesn't matter.
He's the guy.
Shang Tsung is one of those roles where it's like Logan. Like the older you get, the more you look like the character.
Correct. He's fantastic.
The older Hugh Jackman got, the more he looked like Wolverine.
And
right?
from the opening, your soul is mine. From the beginning, you're just like, oh my goodness, it's Mortal Kombat.
Good. It's
so
good. It sets the precedent of being Mortal Kombat. 5 minutes into the movie,
Absolutely.
You're opening to the tournament, right?
Absolutely.
You see what we find out is Liu Kang's brother getting mauled by Sang Chung. He's just completely outclassed. And not to say that Carrey's kung fu was that great in this movie, but he's such a good actor. He just looks like pure evil.
Pure evil.
He
does not look like a good guy.
Shang Tsung swag is a thing.
Yes, absolutely.
It's such a thing.
I love that word. That should be in the
Shang
dictionary.
Tsung swag. Because he has such a gravitas to him that every time he enters the scene, you know some cool shit's about to happen. Right? So we do the 6 zoom out where it shows we show Shang Tsung's face turn into like an evil rotted skeleton. And it just goes to show that the graphics in this movie are so hit and miss. They're super duper hit and miss because of the time.
That's our first look of, the 90s.
This is if you want a 90s film, you want to see how far like CG has come, watch this movie.
Correct.
Because don't get me wrong, the graphics on the CG front and even on the creature effect front aren't great. Goro is not great.
Oh no.
Mind you.
No,
Goro is not great at all. But it's so charming.
Correct.
Because of the time. Like, when you saw this back in the day, your mind freezes and it's perfect. And you watch it now like, oh, that's so shoddy. But you still love it because it's Mortal Kombat, right?
And it still took a bunch of work.
And was groundbreaking when it came out.
Correct.
So we find out that whole scene is a nightmare. That Luke's having Liu Kang, we're introduced to Liu Kang, Robin Shou is introduced as Liu Kang. And the first thing they do is they modernize the character. You enter into his room and you see modern stuff. Because they could have easily set this movie back in like the 50s or the 40s or the 20s. Because it's timeless. The game itself was timeless.
Correct.
Liu Kang was something out of it. He was pretty much Bruce Lee.
Correct.
There's nothing modern in Mortal Kombat 1. Everybody's dressed like peasants. Even Johnny Cage is just wearing like disco pants.
Yeah, and there's no real time frame, I guess, unless you want to look at Johnny Cage being
the modern star. Like he could have been like
star,
it could have been like something like. You ever seen The Quest with Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yes, not one of Jean-Claude's best.
But it's Mortal Kombat.
Correct.
And you have your American fighter who's a star. Right?
Correct.
He's pretty much Johnny Cage in that movie. Correct. So if you wanted, this could have been a period piece if you really wanted to. But it being based in modern times is so cool because it puts a whole nother wrinkle to the Liu Kang character. You can see he plays basketball. You know what I'm saying? He has a basketball on the floor of his apartment. He has a bike that he has hung up. So the idea of modern Liu Kang as a character design is amazing to me.
Yes.
It's like when you think of Peter Parker dressed modernly, but not, or Spider-Man with a backpack on and headphones. It's a cool design.
There's some bows running around.
Right.
Peter Parker with bows on. You're like, that's not the Peter Parker I grew up with, but
fine.
I'll take it.
Peter, Spider-Man with Tim's on.
Makes sense.
He's dead ass, but it's kind of cool.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? We opened to Liu Kang, and honestly, you couldn't have picked a better person to play Liu Kang. Robin Shou just looks like the character. So he doesn't look like Bruce Lee.
No.
He looks like Liu Kang.
He looks like Liu Kang.
In my brain, that's what the character looks like forever.
He looks like
Robin Shou.
Yes.
The kid, and he's not really been in a lot.
No.
Ever.
No.
He's been in things here and there.
Very few of these wonderful cast members have, they enjoyed a fruitful Hollywood career.
Exactly.
Longevity.
Only one who's really made it out this movie is Carrey.
Oh yeah, I mean Carrey made it.
That's
out,
another testament to this movie. There's no Christopher Lambert, of course.
Yes, absolutely.
But he doesn't count.
The Highlander,
right? So we open to seeing Liu Kang, and the guy is pitch perfect.
He's cut.
Yeah, the guy is cut. He's
freaking cut.
He's pitch perfect to the design of the character, right? Then we open to, and then the scene goes into the introduction of Sonya Blade, who's played by I want to say Brigitte. It's not Bridget Nielsen, because she was in like Red Dawn.
No,
she was in she played She-Hulk for a split second. The actresses.
Yes.
The actors are going to be hard to remember.
Yes.
So let's just go with Sonya Blade. We're introduced to Sonya Blade.
Sonya Blade.
And what did you think of Sonya Blade?
I love Sonya Blade. She is not the best actress. Like, her character in this movie does not exactly represent what I'm going to call flawless acting.
Yeah.
But at the exact same time, she did a damn good job, and I'll take it.
Yeah, because she was a tough-ass, no-nonsense.
I'll take it.
Like, like heroine. Like she was to be saved by no one until the very end of the movie, unfortunately, which is a big problem I have with this film. But we introduced in like a Blade type intro where they're infiltrating a club that Kano was last located, and Sonya Blade has this blacked out special ops.
Jax,
gear.
watch my back.
Jax, watch my back. And then we get like a sneak preview of Jax Mortal Kombat 2.
I completely
it's
forgot
so cool.
We're gonna like get some Mortal Kombat 2.
We get a lot of Mortal Kombat 2 in this movie.
Stoked.
You know what I mean? And it's like Jax is played by nothing and no one, but that's fine. You know what I mean? And it's like this hard rock kind of still dance hall kind of rock is playing, and it sounds the coolest. And Sonya Blade is blowing cats away with shotguns. So you have that weird kind of Chow Yun Fat kind of like John Woo moments in the movie for a split second. Because if you wanted that and you didn't really want Kung Fu, at least you got a little bit of that. You know what I mean?
That is absolutely correct.
And then we're introduced to Kano. Who's pitch perfect. The why is the casting so good in this movie?
You know what? Kano, for me, is probably the best character actor in this movie. They nailed Kano spot on, and I was watching this the other night, and I'm like, you know what? If you want to give me a Kano movie, like a
I'm super good.
I'm in with it, with this dude, and because this is a guy I do not want to know.
Yeah, mind you, his portrayal of Kano was so good that future games made him Australian. Kano in the original Mortal Kombat was not Australian.
What was it?
He was just some, Anglo-Saxon dude with cyber tech.
Okay.
He didn't have any voice work. He didn't have any background as being like either New Zealander or Australian. But this actor came in and killed it so hard that they swerved the character design forever. So Kano is Australian forever, all the way up until Mortal Kombat X. You know what I mean? He's that good. You know what I mean? He's another guy who almost steals the movie outside of like Shang Tsung.
For sure.
He is so...
For sure, the beginning part of this movie is made by Kano and Sonya's chase. You get a taste of Kano and you're like, man, he's kind of cool. And just to be fair, when you look at Kano's eye, I mean...
The graphics are so good on that.
I would have taken Cyborg in Justice League with that type of...
Why not? It's so simple. It's so effective.
Absolutely.
It's just a prosthetic that glows, that looks cool.
Right.
And everybody who know Mortal Kombat geeked the hell out because it's just Kano.
It was very true to the character.
Very true to the character.
And that character was hard as hell to use. I want to say Kano is not an
Nobody picks Kano, man.
No one picks Kano, but you should.
You should because he has eye lasers and cannonball. Come here, baby. And he's talking to Shang Tsung and they're working out some black deal because for some reason Shang Tsung is on Sonya Blade tough in this movie. It's never explained why, but apparently Shang Tsung has been keeping tabs on Sonya Blade forever.
Well, he wants her soul, obviously.
He wants more than her soul. My precious Sonya. It's so weird. He's creeping on her ultra tough.
Maybe, but it could just be a soul. She could just be a top warrior. I never actually got to that. Understood that,
she's such a pretty soul.
But we'll go on with that.
So Sonya is grilling cats in the actual club. Where's Kano? And everybody's like, who? Because it's only her chasing him. Like, there's no team with them. You almost feel like Sonya Blade wasn't supposed to be going after him that hard. But she's like disobeying direct orders and shit.
Correct. Her.
And honestly, she should be court-martialed by the time she gets back from Mortal Kombat. Because she just literally abandoned her
entire post.
She's no longer special forces.
I'm going to this boat. Jax is like,
wait, you're an idiot, Sonya. So
now check it in. Bridget Wilson.
Bridget Wilson. She was also in
Sampras now.
Yeah, she was also in. Yeah, Bridget Wilson. She was in Billy Madison.
Correct.
That Veronica Vaughn. Okay, I won't finish that line because it's really bad.
Excellent. But yes, Sonya Blade.
Bridget Nielsen. Bridget Wilson. See, that's all I was easy to confuse there.
Also, Last Action Hero, and I Know What You Did Last. So
there you go. I like her as an actress. I didn't like that she didn't have really strong, like, fighting prowess. Like, her moves looked really, like, she was struggling with the choreography, it looked like, a little bit.
The choreography is hit and miss, but
yeah.
as I mean, it's the 90s. We weren't,
but then that's no excuse because you have movies in the 70s made by the Wu Ping brothers,
but we weren't into as perfection as we are currently.
Nah, true.
The standard was a tad bit looser, where it's like, oh, this is a film. Like, you know, we can extend our believability.
But then again, even Johnny Cage was actually a proficient fighter in this movie. On some level. But
Sonya Blade's character in the game had very awkward moves. She would do like a leg grab. Like a left-handed fighter or something. Like, it was just awkward to use her. So,
there you go.
They were getting true to the game.
True to the game. I can definitely agree with that.
Which is what we're looking for when we
want to watch these movies.
Mortal Kombat.
Because that's something I'll leave to the end. But its authenticity to the game is unmatched. And honestly, probably my favorite video game movies of all time. If not the best video game movie of all time. Outside of like Silent Hill.
I'll have an answer for that by the time we get done with this.
Perfect.
But, it's up there.
It's up there. Let's complete the Trinity.
Absolutely.
And we get introduced to Johnny Cage. And it gives you the lead-in that he's in real big trouble. Johnny Cage is cornered. Yes. And there's all these guys with each one of them have different nuts-ass weapons. So one has like sais, one has a katana, one has an electric baton. And Johnny Cage has his shades on, and it's a perfect Johnny Cage. He's like, let's dance. And then the music comes on.
Terrible music. But yeah, go on. This is some of the worst Johnny Cage music.
I don't care. It's hype. It's hype as hell to me.
Well, that was a different beat from what we've been going on thus far. But it's fine.
It's super fine, dude. Like, and Johnny Cage is beating the crap out of all these guys.
Beats them. Yeah.
Beats them hard, and he doesn't get touched. And he does one roundhouse kick. Video game accurate, mind you, roundhouse kick to the last guy, and the guy doesn't drop. No. And he does it again. And out of nowhere, he goes, cut, where do you get these guys? And it's all a set. And he's like, Johnny Cage is a movie star, canon. And your brain just goes nuts again a little bit.
Correct.
And of course, he's being directed by bootleg Steven Spielberg.
Phony Steven Spielberg.
You could Stefan Spielberg.
You could have paid a couple of bucks and got the real bird.
There's no way Steve would have been in this movie as a cameo.
I'm sure. Hey, well, when we get to the reboot that's destined to come out,
yes.
I don't know why we haven't had this yet. Spielberg will be there.
Spielberg will be there. So we find out that Johnny Cage's through line in this movie is that no one believes that he really knows how to do the things he knows how to do. People think he's a cookie cutter action star, not a true martial artist. His former sensei, Master Boyd, shows up and with a tabloid that says Johnny Cage is fake as hell. Like why is he acting like he really knows this stuff? He'd get his ass kicked in a real fight. Johnny Cage is like, I'm super tired of hearing that. So Master Boyd gives him an option, says, join his tournament. It's going to be nuts. You get all the fame and recognition. People will find out you're the true deal. Be on a boat tomorrow. And Johnny Cage is like, cool, sounds good. He runs off to Johnny Cage land and has a vitamin water or something.
And that's actually where we get into the actual plot of the film. Because up to this moment,
it's all character development.
We don't even know what we're watching. We're just like, all right, these are some cool action scenes, but what's actually going on?
Yeah,
so
the stakes.
They gave the stakes to Johnny to carry us into,
Which is good because with characters, for someone who doesn't know what Mortal Kombat is, you automatically know each character's motivations.
Correct.
Luke Cage is out for revenge. Or Luke Cage is out for revenge, pretty much, for his brother.
Yes.
Sonya is out to get her white whale. Which is where's Kano? And Johnny Cage is out for recognition.
Because he's a fraud.
Because he's a super fraud. And I don't know what city they were in, but that was the most jankiest pier I've ever seen in my life. If this really takes place in modern times, 1992, why does that shit look like it's out of, the seediest parts of Thailand?
Well,
it might have been. We don't know.
they probably just had needed filler, so they had to use the cut from the actual Thailand part of the set.
There's no way I would be there. And of course, we get Johnny Cage walking up with his 18 trillion bags because he's Moneybags movie star, and he tries to get Liu Kang to pretty much like load his shit because he thinks Liu Kang is just a dock worker, and we get that little smidgen of personality in Liu Kang.
You know what that dock actually looks like? Was it Daniel Craig, James Bond?
Which one? Like Quantum of Solace?
Was it Quantum of Solace where he gets on the boat and he's on that pier
so.
and goes? That pier actually looks a lot like that one.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
But yeah,
Johnny's got his 8 bags and he looks at Lou and it looks like, hey, carry my bags.
I give you money, you carry the bags, or is that too complicated for you?
Yeah.
He was just like, no, it's okay. I got it. He takes the bags, looks over the side, and just throws them into the ocean. Looks at him. No fear. Looks at him, takes his money, and just walks off.
Right.
Great comedic timing.
Correct. And Johnny does the appropriate thing, which is just kind of like, oh, man, I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, Johnny was just like, respect.
You know.
Fine. Great.
Absolutely.
You know, this goes back to the comedic undercurrent of this movie that it's the perfect sweet and sour. It's a perfect savory and sweet. This movie is, you know, it doesn't take itself seriously whatsoever.
No,
which could have been a problem if it took itself way too seriously. And on the dock, we see everybody kind of meeting. So you've already met 2 of the 3 Trinity. You see Sonya hiding in corners with Jax, looking for Kano with her super expensive Jurassic Park goggles. You know what I mean? And she's like, of course, where's Kano? That's because she says that like 18 times in the movie.
Where is Kano?
And she sees him bored, and Sonya just books it because she's not thinking clearly about this man. Like, and apparently the backstory is that he killed her original partner.
Correct.
And Jax is a new partner of hers. And she just,
Sonya, wait!
Hey, Sonya! And we never see that black guy again because in Annihilation, he's another actor.
Another actor? Really?
Yeah, it's not the same guy.
Huh.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Yeah. So we finally get on the boat, and it's just rickety as... It's like a God of War boat. It's rickety as shit.
It's a crazy looking boat.
It's a crazy, evil, like, fake boat. And of course, the boat is CG. That comes on a real dock, but it has fog around it, so it tries to hide the effects a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's the shittiest boat you ever seen in your life.
I do not want to sail
graphically
across the ocean in this boat.
And no, it doesn't even look like it has seats.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't even look like it has toilets.
Right.
This thing looks bootleg as shit. And Johnny Cage sees Sonya and immediately tries to flirt with her. And she puts a gun in his throat and it's like, where's Kano? He's like, I have no idea who you're talking about.
No.
You can't just ask strangers where this man is.
Not with a gun to people's
throats. Like, I get it. And Liu Kang goes, another starstruck fan, huh? Because Liu Kang already knows who Johnny Cage is.
Yeah, he's modern, like you were saying.
Yeah, you know, the starstruck fan, huh? He hits him on the shoulder, another yuck for the crowd to have. This, nothing else showed Liu Kang's personality as much as this movie did. Even the video games kept Liu Kang as like a milquetoast.
Yes, absolutely.
It's my destiny kind of character. But I love this Liu Kang because he has urgency, he has a personality, and he's not a Mary Sue, as it were. And Mary Sue, for those who don't know, is milquetoast characters that really have no personality. Some would call Cyclops a Mary Sue. Goku's a Mary Sue.
Yeah.
You know, so those are types. That's where the terminology comes from.
I would absolutely agree about that about Cyclops.
Well, we're not going to talk about Scott Summers, leader of the X-Men.
We will not
right now. So we're going through the ship with the trio combined now, and they're following Sonya because she's looking for Kano all over this damn boat, and we come across the blood pool, the acid pool that's from Mortal Kombat 2. That little bridge they're on is a homage to the acid pit Mortal Kombat 2 reptile stage.
Huh, I didn't quite catch that. Nice
and there's
catch.
hooks all over the place.
How about that? Learning things 20 years later.
Man, because this game has so many little Easter eggs to 2. Because 2 was just about to come out when this came out.
Absolutely. And I was an Annihilation fan, but whatever. Okay.
Exactly. I'm more of a Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 guy, but that's the one I really stuck with. And then we get one of the coolest intros in film history. So they're walking across the bridge, and Shang Tsung comes to greet them. And he's really cool. He's actually kind of nice. He's like, hey, welcome to my boat. we're going to go to the sick-ass tournament. I hope you guys have fun.
Right.
Where's Kino? He's like, I can't help you with that. Maybe you should kind of relax, my sweet soul. And he's like, how do you know my name? And then the door opens. And pardon my French, but fucking Sub-Zero and Scorpion walk out like bosses, dude.
You're like, there's going to be trouble.
My favorite Mortal Kombat character personally is Sub-Zero.
Well, yeah.
I'm a Sub-Zero guy.
Sub-Zero.
Because it's like Ryu or Ken, Mario or Luigi, Scorpion or Sub-Zero.
They're absolutely connected.
And
the fates of lore forever. You can't have one without
the other.
You cannot make a Sub-Zero movie without
Scorpion and vice versa.
Absolutely.
So they walk out together, and Scorpion and Sub-Zero, the deadliest of enemies. But Slave is under my power. And they pose, and they have their quick little power intro, and Sonya pulls a gun on Shang Tsung. Step aside. It's almost something like Resident Evil. And Sub-Zero freezes the butt of the gun, or the actual shaft of the gun, and just cracks it. And it's the coolest small explanation of ability.
Oh, man.
He wears blue. He controls ice. Right? So then we see Scorpion, who has the all-white eyes. And it's like, it's legit Scorpion.
It's like, there's no one there, man. Like,
He's gone. There's no talking to this dude. No. And let's get to the character design, because the costumes are right out of the damn game.
Dead on.
Right out of the... And that was always one of my biggest gripes growing up, was that the costumes are never like in the comics.
No, they got to...
In the 90s, they were really bad at that.
Absolutely right.
Like Steel and the Phantom, and it just never got the costumes right. Scorpion and Sub-Zero were dead fucking on. And even their little accents, like Scorpion's mask had the crazy like bio engineering kind of skull shit going on. It looks so cool. And then, but the biggest sin of Scorpion was his weird animatronic CG snake spear.
Yeah.
Which I had problems with because I thought it looked cool, but then I was like, that's not how that works. They just fly and shit wherever it wants to go. So you're like, is he going to do the get over here? And right before they start fighting, you see Raiden appear and strike down and go, enough! In that weird Christopher Lambert voice, man. That guy.
Odd casting.
That's the worst casting in the film.
How in the world did this happen? But
I get it.
You know what?
I get it.
It works with the rest of the movie.
You grow to love it.
Yes.
Because he has his own personality.
It grows
that maybe another actor couldn't have brought. Because anybody would have hammed it up and made it Shakespearean. I'm a god of thunder. But he's really relatable. Even when he meets Liu Kang at the beginning of the movie and he tests his mettle, he's just like, hey, you're a punk and you ran away from your duties and your little brother got super killed and his soul is in torment forever. It was in Shang Tsung. That's kind of your fault.
Right.
Giving him shit. And it's like the main character of your film. But Raiden kind of goes and saves their butts because they weren't going to win that fight. Not at this stage there were.
They had no idea what was going
on.
So, some dude just throws a gun and
one guy has a monster living in his hand.
Yeah, so, in the scale of, I'm in deep shit, we're like at an 11.
Yeah, we're in Super 11, right?
Correct.
So we finally get the exposition of the film where everyone on the boat goes to bed but our main characters, Raiden, Liu Kang, Johnny Cage.
They don't sleep the entire movie.
Yeah, those guys, I don't see a bed other than the one Liu Kang wakes up out of.
No.
He had a long-ass weekend.
No.
How about that?
Yeah.
So, of course, Raiden explains, you're in Mortal Kombat. This tournament has been going on for thousands of years. We're going against a alternate reality called the Netherrealm, or Outworld, as it were. And if the Outworld tournament people beat us 10 times in a row, they could just have our dimension, which is Earthrealm.
Right.
And they've won 9 times. So it's really up to you to win. And if you fail, the fate of the entire world is at your shoulders.
Now, at this time, I'm looking at the screen going, you know what? From what I've seen of Lou, Johnny, and Sonya, I'm not sure.
I'm not really sure they're up for this fight.
For this task, man.
You see what's going on?
Right.
These bastards have powers and shit.
You know what? These guys.
Ryu, Ken, and, Guile, they're not.
Raiden's amped. He's like, you guys got this. So
right?
It's fairly impressive.
And they're all like, okay, we see you have powers. Why don't you just fix the problem yourself? He's like, I'm a god. I don't interfere with mortal trivances. I can't. But I can train and influence you to make the right decisions.
Right.
And he's like, all you guys are going to fail as you are now if you don't grow as a person. And you don't get over your fears. And of course, they're all tough guys. I'm not afraid of anything. And Raiden runs them down. Johnny, you're afraid of being fake, so you're going to run into fights bullheaded like an idiot, and you will be beat, and you will be beaten. You know, Sonya's afraid of accepting help. So
yeah, you know,
so she
wants backup. She'll radio for it.
I'll radio for it.
Right.
Sonya Blade. There's so many good lines in this damn movie, and of course, Liu Kang is afraid of facing his own destiny, which is being the Shaolin monk badass who should have beat Shao Kahn months ago when his brother got killed.
Correct.
You know what I mean? His brother, like, okay, I have to pick up the load for my deadbeat American-bound brother. He got his ass whooped. Of course he did. Right? So, Raiden tells them to be prepared, which is one of the Mortal Kombat 2, which is the tagline for Mortal Kombat 2. Be prepared. And, of course, Shang Tsung does the iconic, it has begun. Yeah. And you look up and it's the face of Shao Kahn. But you don't know it's Shao Kahn yet? That's another Mortal Kombat 2 nod to this movie.
Absolutely.
And then we get to the, Pleasure Island, which is Shang Tsung's island and God knows anywhere.
Are we going to call it Pleasure Island?
People have fun there.
I mean,
it's a beautiful island. I'm not sure where this is shot.
It is beautiful, but I'm not sure about pleasure.
People have fun until they die.
Maybe like Death Island or,
yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm just
you
waiting
might
for
die Island.
I'm waiting for the plane boss, the plane guy to run out.
The plane.
You know he's from Outworld.
There is no plane coming to this place.
No plane whatsoever. So, man, we get to the island and we get to the and we see for a glimpse Katana, Princess Katana, another character that was not introduced until Mortal Kombat 2.
Yes, 2. She was one of my favorites.
She was one of my favorites in 2.
Absolutely.
You ask me Melina or Katana, I go Katana every single time.
Every time.
I was just the fans and the move where you like get them stuck in the air and then you do the kick and then you do the instant blades
it goes
after that.
Chun-Li Katana.
Thank you.
Like,
Chun-Li Katana.
That's the
Chun-Li is honestly the first lady of video games.
And then the chick
in my
from
opinion,
Taki from
Soul Calibur.
Yeah.
Wind!
Because I love me some Taki, but
Wind!
Chun-Li kick all
Chun-Li.
the asses.
I hold Chun-Li. Chun-Li is my favorite female video game character of all time.
Oh, see? There you go.
Beating out Samus Orion. A lot of people get mad at me because of that. But honestly, Chun-Li's been in better games and more games. But that's just my opinion.
All right.
And I'll leave it at that. That's a conversation for
that
another.
is a separate conversation.
Yeah, that's a conversation for another review episode. So we get to the island and we get to this huge banquet hall where they're eating roasted pheasant or whatever they got going on.
It's grub.
You know
having some dinner. Eat 24.
It's super. Eat 24. they order. I didn't know Grubhub comes out to Outworld.
Absolutely, they deliver. It's good. We got from like 6 or 7 different places.
Yeah, man.
Spread.
Yeah, man. That's PM Chang's over there.
Absolutely.
You notice it? And Johnny Cage went into one of his homeboys that he just knows. It's like another martial artist.
Yep. Art Lee.
Yes. He's like, hey, Johnny, what you doing here? I got an invitation too. Like, that's weird. Have fun. And then playtime's over. And all the no-name ninjas run in and just fucking wreck the entire place. Wake up. It's like boot camp.
Yes.
You know? And then we get to the iconic A Taste for Things to Come, scene where this guy, I guess the main jobber comes out, and this dude is ridiculously cut. He's like Bruce Lee cut.
Yeah, he does some fantastic forms, some kicks. But,
he does a full kata.
Then a full kata, and then he goes up against Sub-Zero.
Which is a big problem, because Sub-Zero walks out as, the ambassador, right?
It's kind of like wearing the yellow vest in Star Trek.
Yeah, that guy was a red shirt. That guy was
red
super
shirt.
a red shirt. So this guy's doing all types of cool katas and flip kicks and all. And Sub-Zero just sitting there channeling his chi. And the guy runs out and does a flying dragon kick at Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero throws an ice ball at him. Dude flash freezes and explodes on the counter with his head, with his scared face just frozen in time forever.
Fantastic scene.
Super, as a Sub-Zero fan, I lost my shit. It's flawless victory. It was a fight.
Flawless victory.
It was legit.
We were all excited.
I was so it was a fighting game.
It
It was just a
exciting.
fighting game
Yeah.
stage, right? That just happened. This guy was a character in the game, and he got one-shotted by Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero, dude, like you grow up hoping for this stuff to happen.
You got to know if you're the jobber that's about to happen. You've been around the block, you've heard the story, so you did your kata, you had a good day, but ultimately you froze and
you fought
you're
fucking
dead.
Sub-Zero, dude. What did you
Yeah.
think was gonna happen?
Right, you had no chance.
You had no. Guy had negative a billion.
No
chance.
chance.
So, Sonya gets a glimpse of Kano in the background somewhere, and so Liu Kang, in the group, going out through this temple looking for Kano. At the same time, Kano's having lunch with Goro, and we get introduced to Prince Goro.
Prince Goro.
And it's rough.
The
It's
makeup
rough.
not great.
I'm looking at it right now.
Not fantastic.
At the time, it was
man.
amazing.
Well, not even then.
Not even
we were
then,
kind
'cause
of
he looked-
like,
He looked like a Jim Henson Muppet.
this is not what we kind of expected. But
This is not
you
what
know,
I was
good
hoping
effort.
for. But the puppet acts. You know what I mean? Because Kano is like, if he's so great, why does he have such a crummy looking boat? I'm just real confused about everything that's going on. And Kano and Goro's like, that was his intention to freak you out.
Yes.
The wise cultivate his
That
favor.
was the point of,
This whole it's all for show at this point, right? Because I'm sure Shang Tsung has infinite money at this point, right? But he has to put up the ambiance of terror to get these people in the right frame of mind that you're all going to die.
Kevin Michael Richardson is the voice of Goro in this movie.
That was his intention. Yeah, man.
He's also been in Transformers as well.
He's voice actors, man. Let's get these voice dudes in effect. So Shang Tsung shows up and explains to Goro, like, why would you think I would hire this idiot? It's just to lure Sonya. I don't care about Kano. I super don't.
No.
You're literally lower than the crap under my heel.
And the thing
I'm
about
like
Kano,
1,000 years old.
is Kano's not stupid. Kano
Yeah.
was immediately like, oh, this is taking a bad turn, and I'm a tad bit frightened.
Yeah, I'm legit scared. What is happening?
Right.
He's like, you should be scared because you're in the shit now. So we get to the first legit fight of the tournament. Legit fight, because I don't count that expedition.
No.
We get Liu Kang in the deserts or on the beach fighting Hakeem the Machine. I remember UFC Masters.
No.
No. What was it called? It was a show they used to show on Fox, and it was like a bootleg kung fu. It was like American Gladiators, but for kung fu.
Oh, I got nothing. Man.
And the black guy with the dreads who made the tiger noises was actually Hakeem the Machine from that show.
Did not know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. I can't remember the name of that show, but Liu Kang has kind of a fight with this guy who obviously has no chance. He's also a higher level jobber.
Right.
So Liu Kang gets to show off his skills. And it's a perfect Mortal Kombat scene. It's just an homage to one of the levels of the game where Shang Tsung is sitting there watching the fight go on.
Right.
And that's a Mortal Kombat staple. Shao Kahn does it later. So Liu Kang wins. You notice this katana just eyeballing him in the back. You know what I mean? And from that point, we kind of go on to the next part of the film, which I can't really remember. What happens exactly next after that scene?
Well, then,
because we get the explanation. Because I think I'm skipping a big giant part, because there's a big fight scene inside the actual temple with Liu Kang katana and Liu Kang subs. Oh, dang, all these characters mixed up in my brain.
yeah, we
Liu
move
Kang,
right
Johnny
over
Cage.
to the next fight, which is going to be when when Katana and Liu Kang actually get a chance to
spar
the little battle.
And it kind of it's just a sparring session, right? And you can see and you can see actually Katana is kind of really not trying to fight Liu Kang, and she's giving him like little tips. You must use the elements which brings life, which is cheating, mind you. That's a big thing. We'll get to that fight, but Liu Kang cheats to win. honestly.
Well, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Hey, man.
All hell's breaking loose.
I'm super not mad at him. But the next fight after that fight is the Sonya Blade Kano fight.
Correct.
On the same day.
I have a present for you. And Kano comes walking out. And Sonya Blade's very excited.
She's extremely excited.
Her terrible, terrible warm-up punches, which if you've been in a martial arts class at all, these are some weak punches Sonya Blade
That's what I'm saying.
doing.
Like,
so,
her as a character has horrible fighting prowess.
She is not going, you know, overall. But the fight itself, not bad. Kano comes out, explains that he killed the partner, slit him ear to ear with the knife. Ear to ear. With the knife in his back pocket. And then we proceed to have a subpar fight. Probably the worst fight in the movie. By far, worst
fight
fight.
No, I take that back. The Johnny Cage Goro fight was kind of the worst fight in the movie. I take that back because he does the splits ball punch,
absolutely.
which is iconic and awesome.
Which is way better than the fake leg.
Because it was so limp.
Like, that was not a leg toss like Sonya does.
No.
I mean, I don't
nowhere
know
close.
why they couldn't accomplish
that.
WWE wrestlers were doing it in the 80s and 70s.
Come
so
on,
why were we having
Give me a
issue?
break.
Right.
You know?
Give me a break. And she breaks his neck. And then we move over to
the best fight of the movie.
Absolutely. Johnny Cage versus
Scorpion
in the woods.
In the thicket of the woods. And it's the best fight of the damn movie because Scorpion does his full moveset in this movie. He's the only character that does his full moveset. Because for a split second in the expedition between Sub-Zero and the Jobber, he does show like he does a little slide.
Oh, yeah.
He does the slide, technically, because he moves out the way of the body exploding. Oh, yeah. But Scorpion does everything. And
well, that's what we're expecting. I mean,
so
Sub-Zero and Scorpion were
so
used well in this movie.
Good.
They didn't say a word except, get over here.
That's all you need.
Come back here.
Get down here, right?
Get down here.
So they're fighting in the middle of this thicket. Scorpion throws his, get over here. And it just flies. It goes wherever it wants. It has a mind of its own. Yes. And Johnny Cage is outrunning it, right? He's hiding behind trees. The thing finds him and picks up the pursuit again. Johnny Cage finds Scorpion again because he's still under the get over here spear. And he runs up at top speed. And he actually does his move. Yeah. He does the shadow kick. And it's so cool because it's only for a split second. And Scorpion does his teleports. And he teleports him to the Nether Realm.
Well, teleports him to
maybe another part of the island.
House, I was thinking.
I thought it was like teleporting him into hell because there's skulls everywhere. There's all these weird platforms.
Comes home and he's like, "Hey, honey, I'm home.
Hey, honey, I'm home.
Long day at work. I've burned off some people's faces today.
Get over here." Gives her a kiss.
Yeah, here's some stuff. Here's some bones.
This is the best choreography in the movie
by far.
Scorpion is beating the shit out of Johnny Cage.
Again, Johnny Cage doing work, even though his character isn't necessarily what you would expect from, this movie and Johnny Cage.
And Johnny Cage and fighting. Get down here! Where he kicks and they're bouncing from platform to platform. Scorpion is jumping around everywhere. And to finish it off, the kicker is that he does his fatality.
Yes.
He almost does his fatality, but Johnny Cage then does his fatality.
He holds the shield to block off
his toasty.
Absolutely.
He was going to toasty him. But Johnny Cage blocks it, throws a Captain America-like shield at Scorpion and slices his chest open. Lava just spills out. Scorpion has his skull head. And he pretty much fatalities Scorpion because then
Scorpion blows up, man.
He just explodes.
Just blows up.
And then he leaves his photograph like in Mortal Kombat 2.
Which is just the strangest thing. It's
another fatality. That's actually a fatality in Mortal Kombat. It's like his friendship. He does his friendship.
I forgot about the friendship.
Yeah, where he leaves an autograph. Love Johnny Cage.
Oh, I was just got a flash from my Annihilation. They had the animal ones in it.
Yeah, they had the animalities.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about Annihilation.
Anyway, back to Mortal
Kombat. We jumped ahead a little bit because actually this is the part where Katana and Liu Kang have their tussle.
Yes.
And
their little exhibition.
How do you say that?
Exhibition.
I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
Exhibition.
I talk for living, ladies and gentlemen.
It's all good.
And then we get to the fight of Liu Kang versus Sub-Zero, which is not a bad fight.
No,
It's not the best. It's like it's not the second best fight of the movie.
But the
it's
intro
the third best fight of the movie.
Is so cool when Sub-Zero comes down those stairs, man. You're like, oh shit, it's on Sub-Zero.
And then they do the perfect ready. You might as well just have ready fight.
Right.
Fight him.
Yes.
Because they're standing in their perfect poses. It's the poster shot of the movie.
Yes.
Liu Kang, because Robin's show is no slouch, and the guys who actually did the choreography for Sub-Zero and Scorpion were legit martial artists.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So the choreography is on point. They're flipping off walls. They're doing split kicks. It's amazing.
It is amazing, but to be honest, this is
not the best fight of the movie.
No, like a parkour does this in the afternoon. Now.
Right.
Like,
the jumping off is very campy in a way.
Absolutely. But it's still fast paced, and that's one of the things I did like about the movie is it's really paced very well.
Right. This movie is amazingly paced.
Absolutely.
It doesn't let you up from Mortal Kombat. So
after Liu Kang beats
he
Sub-Zero,
cheats. He cheated because the water bucket was left there for him to win. I want to say Katana left it there.
No,
Raiden left it there.
Raiden left it there.
Sub-Zero does his cheat move where he literally creates an ice sphere that just starts engulfing the whole room.
Yes.
You're going to freeze and die. So Katana's there to kind of give him a mental, hey, remember what I said earlier? The element that breathes life?
Little wink.
Water. So he throws an ice, I want to say like an ice bucket that turns into like an ice sickle shard and super impels Sub-Zero.
Yeah, it's all over.
Which is funny because that's later found out that that's Bihan who turns into Nob Sabat, which is original Sub-Zero is Nob Sabat in the later games, and the Sub-Zero we have now is the younger brother of this Sub-Zero.
I remember. Okay.
Because Mortal Kombat 2 Sub-Zero has the scar over his eye. And that's the brother of the original Sub-Zero that got killed by Liu Kang.
He has the cool leather outfit.
Yes, with no mask.
Absolutely, no mask.
One of my favorite redesigns in video games because it's so different. And he has his ice clones and stuff. Anyway.
You still use Sub-Zero throughout the course of the game.
I've used Sub-Zero every single game. Because what am I not going to use Sub-Zero? Right. He's the best.
Right.
But then we move on to the part where Shang Tsung comes to Goro and says, okay, we've let these humans win enough. It's time to clean house. And Goro, I want to say, in this death montage, probably kills about 75 of the combatant jobbers that are just there.
Well, he kills a bunch of people that we haven't seen before.
And we'll never see again.
Where's all these dudes coming from?
They're just fodder.
All right, that's cool.
They start playing like Gwar or something. Yeah. And like, fucking girls going to town.
Bodies just get thrown, spewed over.
Yeah, and the final one is going back to the beginning of the movie. We see Johnny Cage's boy, Art Lee, or what was
Art Lean.
Art Lean is there. And he's not doing half bad.
No.
Until Goro wants to start fighting for real.
No, he's fighting Goro with all the moves. Art Lean was a famous martial artist, so, he's doing his job, but Goro has 4 arms and is like 7.5 feet tall.
And he's like a 12,000-year-old Japanese myth dragon.
And he's a prince.
And he's won 9 of the last Mortal Kombat tournaments by himself.
Yeah. So
no, you're going to die.
Yeah, you're up against a challenge.
Yeah, so the guy eventually starts seeing, like, I'm not going to beat this fucking thing. Goro holds him up and just beats him to death.
Yeah. Benefit of 4 arms.
Then Shang Tsung does another fatality where he literally steals his soul. Your soul is mine.
Yeah. And then Johnny,
you see his soul like swerve into his eye and he blinks and it's gone. It's the best visual representation probably in the movie, like how he actually does that.
Yes.
That process. And of course, the heroes of Earth are shook as hell.
Oh yeah.
And they go to Raiden.
Watch the soul get taken.
It's like, what are we supposed to do to beat this? And like Raiden's like, these guys are not immortal. They can be beaten. You guys just need to get it together.
Yeah, he has this coming to Jesus talk.
Yeah,
with the people
because they're legit scared.
Right,
like, we're not going to win. How do we fight this?
The training montage part of the movie begins.
Yes, where they're all kind of coming to their own terms. Liu Kang has like a heart to heart with himself. Has the vision.
It does meditation. I mean,
yeah,
we went stereotypical here. We're like, gonna meditate. I'm
gonna meditate and think about it.
I haven't slept, but I'm going to
meditate,
one
sleeps,
and it'll be fine.
The next day happens, and they're in their same clothes. Johnny Cage brought 12 suitcases, but he wears the same stuff.
Yeah.
He lost all his luggage.
All the luggage, no sleep, no showers, and then you have
They gotta
Johnny
be-
and Sonya on the beach, chatting it out.
Having their one. I can't let him do this to you, not to you. He's like, you're so full of shit. You don't know
Johnny,
me.
my goodness.
Johnny Cage is so full of shit in this movie. I love this actor. He kills it. Everyone kills it in this movie.
And Johnny decides that he wants to fight Goro.
It's so stupid. So he's like, I'm going to fight Goro preemptively because I think I can beat him. So he goes to Shang Tsung and says, okay, I want to fight Goro. And this is where Shang Tsung is like, you really are you that eager to die, man? Nobody challenges Goro. You just happen to have to fight him. It's like, no, I want to fight him. He's like, but Shang Tsung is like, okay, I'll set it up for you. But I get to choose who I want to fight, where I want to fight them. And Johnny Cage is like, deal. And right in the nick of time, Raiden shows up and it's just too late. The deal is struck.
Yes.
And Johnny Cage is like, gentleman's word. We have a deal, as Shang Tsung would say. And Johnny Cage is like, we're the mortals, man. We have to set the stakes for ourselves. We fight it. And then Raiden's actually kind of like hyped about it. He's like, it's about time someone's listening. Seriously. Like someone's starting to get it. Right? And it's Johnny Cage, which is the unsung hero of Mortal Kombat, if you ask me.
He does a lot of work when you break down the script.
Even canonically, Johnny Cage is a big deal,
right,
in the Mortal Kombat universe.
In the universe itself, but as a character, he seems kind of soft, and
he's very underestimated. But what's a funny fact is, Jean-Claude Van Damme was supposed to do the actual sprite work for the original Johnny Cage, but he backed out to do Predator or something like that. I think something like that. And so we're just going to steal your look and steal your whole entire. So Johnny Cage is an anagram to Jean-Claude Van Damme, is a analogy to him, or I'm trying to use the best word.
I think, yeah, an analogy is close enough.
Cool. So
the people understand.
You guys understand where I'm coming from, Nerdiverse. I appreciate your understanding. So we get to the part of the movie where it's Johnny Cage versus Goro straight out of the game. And Goro is like hyping up the crowd. He's pretty much a giant hype man. Yeah. In his weird, funky animatronic self.
7 feet tall, 4 arms. I'll hype what I want when I want.
When I want. Get hype. He's hitting the taunt button over and over and over and over and over again. So Johnny Cage walks in with his shades, and Goro uses one left hand to grab his arm and the other left hand to grab the shades. He just cracks them in his hands. And he's like, okay, let's dance. And he does the iconic split move and punches Goro right in his balls.
Which none of us were expecting.
No one was expecting that. Fantastic. It's the perfect dead drop. Like I said, comedy, right?
Yes.
Undercurrent of comedy, which predates all the Marvel stuff.
And in my mind, I thought that punch threw him off of a cave or a thing, but that's coming up.
That's coming up, so... Goro, of course, is rocked. Just he's got punched super hard by an abnormally strong human. And of course, Johnny goes, "Geez, that hurt!" Like he punched Colossus in the dick or something.
If he has 4 arms,
how many dicks does he have? Goro has 78 penises.
Quite possible.
Yes, 12 sets of balls in there.
It looks like it's settled back a while.
Or they're made of adamantium or something. So the fight continues because Johnny Cage just runs away.
Yes, and Shang Tsung tells him, "Follow him,
finish it." Right? So Goro's still jarred. He walks up and Johnny Cage gets the drop on him and kicks him in the face a bunch of times. And Goro, one of my favorite parts of the movie, Goro falls off the cliff and he's hanging off the cliff and literally death is below him. There's like lightning and clouds moving. It looks nuts.
Yeah, not going to be a fun fall.
And Johnny Cage, those are a pair of $500 glasses, you asshole.
Yep.
He's like, this is the part where you fall down. And he defeats Goro. And that should have been it. That was the end of Mortal Kombat, right? Yeah. But because of that damn bet, Shang Tsung had the loophole to say, I'm gonna challenge her in Outworld. Sonya.
Yeah, he takes Sonya.
Yep.
Outworld.
He takes her to legit Outworld, which is a place I didn't think we were going to go to in this movie.
No, did not see this coming at all. And then we just went heavy part 2. Heavy part 2. So Raiden's like, I can't follow you there, man. It's against the rules. You guys gonna have to go to Outworld and save Sonya and finish this. And they're like, fine, bet. And he's like, how are we supposed to know where we're going? If you look hard enough, you'll have a guide. So Liu Kang and Johnny Cage go to Outworld and this looks like complete crap. Yep.
And he's like, And Johnny Cage is like, I'm okay. I could deal with this.
Yes.
He's like having a mental breakdown. Because it looks like it's a hellscape.
It is.
It might as well be the inside of the Lament configuration. It looks like some Hellraiser shit.
Yes, it is not fun.
And what we haven't mentioned is that on the periphery of this movie is the invisible reptile.
Yes.
Another Mortal Kombat 2 character.
Fun character.
I love me some reptile.
Another Sub-Zero.
Another part of the Rainbow Ninjas.
Correct. The Three Ninjas? Is that movie?
It's Three Ninjas.
Yeah, Three Ninjas.
It's Reptile, Sub-Zero, and Scorpion.
That's who Three Ninjas grew up to be, ladies and gentlemen.
You guys don't want us to do a review of Three Ninjas.
Actually, that could be fun.
I'm going to do Surf Ninjas.
Oh, God.
Wait, Leslie Nielsen?
Yeah, of course I have. Yeah.
Quan suited.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
That's another episode. So, on the whole movie, Reptile's been keeping tabs on them, like following them around the island. Actually spit in Liu Kang's face at one point.
Yes.
And on the orders of Shang Tsung. So Liu Kang finally grabs this thing in Outworld and throws him into one of these giant death statues. And I screamed the loudest in the movie theater when the thing got trapped inside that statue, morphed into Reptile, and then in the video game voice it goes, Reptile. And then he just drop kicks him through a building. I lost my mind as a kid.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
This is the second best fight of the movie, in my opinion.
It's
the
fast,
choreography,
it's quick. And to be honest, Reptile's beating the
crap out of him. He's kicking him across building.
Yeah.
He's kicking him across the entire room. The kicks are lightning fast. Liu Kang is getting worked. And it takes Liu Kang getting actually upset and wanting to fight. For the first time in the whole movie, he literally goes nuts on Reptile because he has to, because Reptile is killing him. And then another Mortal Kombat 2 homage, the way he defeats Reptile is he goes right into the bicycle kick.
Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Hold down B.
Terrible move.
You let it go, you do bicycle kick.
I mean,
I loved that part. I lost my mind during this fight.
How they did that, they could have went back and been.
It was fine. It's fine,
we
dude.
can figure something out.
It looks bad now, but as a kid, you couldn't tell me nothing. He did a bicycle kick. What? The game has only been out like a month. How'd they do it?
Yeah, it's fair enough. I can appreciate it.
Oh, man, you can't tell me anything about that part. So, Katana finally catches up with them and explains the peril of Outworld. Like, this is once a beautiful place, but Shao Kahn just wrecked everything.
Wrecked it.
Shao Kahn came with Shang Tsung and just destroyed our realm. And this is what's going to happen to your realm next if you don't win the tournament. So they're walking to the biggest castle in the area. And this is actually where Shang Tsung is mustache twirling with a captured, stripped and redressed Sonya Blade, which I thought was kind of weird.
Right.
I thought it was super weird.
It's a nice outfit.
And she becomes a damsel in distress.
Yes.
Which I hate.
Which is weird.
But the character doesn't ever acknowledge she's a damsel in distress.
No, the character's like...
Because she's like, I'm still a badass. This is stupid. I'm stuck for the moment, but I'm still going to beat your ass.
But it's a very weird transition.
I don't like it. This is probably one of my non-happiest moments of this movie. So somehow Liu Kang, Katana, and Johnny Cage get costumes, infiltrate the building.
Great pacing. We didn't see any of that.
I guess we didn't need to. It's fine.
Need to.
It's fine.
End of movie coming.
End of movie coming.
Right.
So they sneak to the very top of the Castlevania at the absolute perfect moment where Shang Tsung's about to kill Sonya.
Yeah, she won't accept the fight.
She won't accept the fight. So he's like, okay, the Emperor's going to be thrilled. They never name drop Shao Kahn. But, of course, Liu Kang and Johnny Cage and Katana say, we're here to help, take off their hoods. And at first, Shang Tsung tries to challenge Johnny Cage.
I challenge you, Johnny Cage.
He's like, no. And Liu Kang says, I challenge you, descendant of Kung Lao. They name drop Kung Lao, another Mortal Kombat 2 character.
Correct. With the hat.
With the hat. So cool design.
Yeah.
Kung
Powerful,
Lao.
too.
Remember when
that
Mortal
hat
Kombat
used to jack me up.
I remember when I was a kid, I was in church praying to the Lord that my mom bought me a copy of Mortal Kombat 2 for the Super Nintendo. The most sacrilegious thing on earth.
At that time.
But
Baby Jesus,
I was
can I please
all
have
the
Mortal,
Baby
Mortal
Jesus.
Kombat 2?
Please. During the time we had to pray,
Yeah.
I was praying for Mortal Kombat 2.
That's hilarious.
And I was obsessed with the remember the trailers for Mortal Kombat 2 were in live action?
Oh, yeah.
And everybody would just go around their houses screaming Mortal Kombat. It was such... You guys don't understand how big this was in the 90s.
I mean...
Mortal Kombat was all... that was it. You go to the arcade, you see a Mortal Kombat, arcade cabinet up, you're on it.
It's time to go. Absolutely.
I got $1. That's 2 rounds.
And,
bro, let's go at it.
And that's what happens in this movie, too.
Yes.
When they take off the HUDs and the challenge comes.
The theme
Liu
music
Kang's
starts
like,
kicking in.
That famous music comes on, and it is time to go.
Liu Kang is wearing this iconic Mortal Kombat 1 gear. Shang Tsung, not so much, but he's such a good-ass character.
Yeah.
That you don't care.
No.
And Mortal Kombat kicks in, and they're fighting. And it shows that Shang Tsung at his core is a sorcerer. He's not really a fighter.
No, but he's got some moves.
He got some moves, but Liu Kang gets the upper hand. And throughout the whole movie, there's 3 stages that Liu Kang must confront to win the day, which is confront your enemy, confront yourself, and confront your destiny or something like that.
Yes.
So, Shang Tsung... I'm sorry.
The enemy. Shang Tsung summons...
is 1,000 dead warriors, which equated to like 8 guys.
8 guys.
8 jobbers. Which Liu Kang dispatches of in pretty much just a kata.
Short
order. Fight. Yeah. Short order. He's done, right? So you will die. So then Liu Kang has to confront himself. So he goes up to challenge Shang Tsung, finally admitting his destiny. I am Shang Tsung. This is what I have to do. So they go onto the top of this almost like altar of what it looks like. And the Mortal Kombat signal is dead center of the floor. Below. And mind you, the Mortal Kombat emblem is one of the most iconic emblems in the world.
Like it.
It's up there with the Superman symbol.
That's its own thing.
And the Pepsi symbol. It's the most iconic. It's one of those things you wish you drew. Trademark Mortal Kombat.
It's the most that dude makes off of that.
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
No.
How many people have had tattoos, designs, and you can do 101 things to it. It looks amazing. But Liu Kang goes, and Shang Tsung, being the shapeshifter that he is, turns into Luke's brother. It's one of the funniest, stupid moments of the movie. He's like, "Is that you, brother? You know it's not him.
Right.
A, your brother's dead, and B, that's Shang Tsung. You just saw him.
You just saw him turn into your brothers. That's
hey, brother, remember that time when our parents died, and you promised that you would protect me forever? Liu Kang should just punch him in the face immediately.
Yeah.
Stop being a jerk.
Yeah.
You know? So, of course, he sees through all that nonsense and beats the second test of his medal. And then the last test is accept your destiny or something like that. And the final battle begins where Liu Kang goes into the Last Dragon Bruce Leroy glow.
Right.
And he's just unstoppable at this feat.
All of a sudden, Shang Tsung can't get a punch through.
And it gets to the point where Liu Kang's not trying anymore. And this is and I think Dragon Ball took a little bit from this because this is a very Dragon Ball moment where at the end of the Frieza saga, Goku beats Frieza so readily that Goku just powers down. He's just like, you're not even a challenge anymore. You're so utterly defeated that I'm just going to go away. And Liu Kang tells Shang Tsung, it's over, dude. You're totally defeated. So Shang Tsung, being the arrogant 1,000-year-old sorcerer badass, says there's no possible way. So he rushes at him. We get the POV shots of Liu Kang beating the crap out of Shang Tsung. And in probably the worst effect in the entire movie, because it's so cheap and so not cool, he actually does his signature fireball, but it's at 2 seconds close to him. It reminded me of the Street Fighter movie where Ryu does his Hadouken is literally just a flash.
It's like Baby Chi.
I hate that part.
It's like Baby
I hate it.
Chi
Don't do it if you can't do it right.
You know what I mean? What are you going to do?
We can have Scorpion's spear flying around the forest, but we can't have a decent dragon fireball?
No, apparently not.
Bastards.
Baby Chi.
So so mind you, this whole time the pit is growing. So the pit from the actual video game,
yes,
with the spikes coming out in the shape of the Mortal Kombat emblem. Liu Kang throws, pretty much knocks Shang Tsung into the spikes, and he's done.
That's it.
Shang Tsung's finished.
Yeah.
He turns into a zombie because all the souls are going out of his body, and literal soul NATO comes out of the damn ground and just starts enveloping the scene.
I'd like to see Soul NATO. We're gonna throw souls at you.
We're gonna throw souls at. Oh, they'll say that too loud. It'll be on the Sci-Fi Network.
Oh,
Freaking.
well, maybe.
Ugh.
Budgeted like $300.
With
You guys have
Tiffany-
$300.
A hot $300 to get you Soul NATO, bro.
Absolutely.
With Tiffany Amber Thiessen and shit.
She's kind of busy on Food Network. Bro.
Oh, okay, damn.
Just to let you know.
So of course, Liu Kang's brother comes out to Soul NATO to be like, "Hey, bro, no hard feelings.
It's good.
It's good.
I'll be seeing you soon.
See you when I see you.
Right?
I am going to see you.
We're gonna hang.
We're gonna hang out. But
Get
for
Burger
now,
King.
I'm with you forever.
Yep.
We'll go to Burger King.
My soul's
heaven.
with you forever.
My soul's with you forever.
But it's going up here, so that's
Stay
kind of
down
literal,
here.
since I was just in someone's
Yeah.
soul
So,
capturing thing.
I kind of have to go to whatever version of heaven
Yeah.
exists in this world.
So it's more figuratively.
It's figuratively, and that's the movie. Liu Kang wins. We get to that cool ass ending song,
Yeah.
Darude
Yay!
Sandstorm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Dun, 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 dun. They go back to the Shaolin Temple. There's flyers and everything going
Kids
on.
everywhere.
Kids playing,
having a
we're
good time.
children, we're children. And everybody won. And it starts to get cloudy. And Raiden's like, oh no, who's that? The Emperor. And for the last stinger, sending you out on the hypest moment, one of the buildings explode, and it's a visual representation of Shao Kahn. And he says the line from the game, "You weak, pathetic fools. Your soul is mine." And he's like, "I don't think so."
Awesome.
Perfect
Awesome.
setup to a sequel.
Awesome shot.
Mortal Kombat.
Absolutely fantastic.
Trailers and music, trailers and music, trailers and music, trailers and music.
And Raiden goes, I don't think so.
They do the classic poses.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat screams. Scream goes dark.
And then we go to Annihilation.
No, we don't talk about Annihilation. You leave the theater so hype because this movie never gives you a moment to breathe.
No, it's a good pacing.
It's
hour 30.
Hour 30 minutes. Non-stop action, non-stop laughs, non-stop story. Mortal Kombat as a story is convoluted as shit.
Oh, yeah.
It's so convoluted. But this
Oh,
movie
yeah.
does such a good job explaining the stakes and explaining what is really going on. There's heaven, there's hell, and there's earth.
And they don't take themselves too seriously when
At
they're doing
all.
it. So it's made simple. It's not.
It's such a
like,
fun.
where'd this strange boat come from, and what is Outworld, and like what goes on there?
Who is really Sub-Zero? Do we
Right.
care?
You know, why does dimensions happen? Like,
Do
it's
we
none of
care?
it. No.
What's Goro's backstory? Do we care?
No. How did
Not
it
in this
form?
movie.
Yeah, no. Don't.
They're just cool creatures. The explanation is there from Outworld.
And it's time
That's
to
all
rock.
you need to know. Then that's the end of the movie, man. Mortal Kombat 1995, Paul W.S. Anderson. In my opinion, the best video game adaptation film of all time.
You know, I would give that to you, but I can't.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go too. But that's just me.
You mean the
Tomb
Lara
Raider.
Croft Tomb Raider?
I'm going with like the Angelina
You know
Jolie
what?
Tomb Raider. I love that freaking franchise.
Real
I don't
quick,
care what it is.
I'm going to give top 5, and you see if you agree with me or not. Top 5 video game adaptations off the top of my head of all time goes as follows. Mortal Kombat. I will give it to the first Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie. That was a pretty faithful adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
Silent Hill.
I was gonna say Silent Hill,
Music, direction, even though it veers off the storyline a little bit.
but the look and the
look
feel,
and the feel
is
is Silent
dead
Hill.
Dead on.
Mind you, Doom.
I was going to give you Doom, but man,
The POV sequence alone makes that top 5. Because mind you, most video game adaptations are shit.
yeah, I guess.
So we're not
you're
so.
working with that.
I mean, like Tomb Raider and Mortal Kombat are leaps and bounds above
yes,
the rest.
Yes, for sure.
So mind you, if I have to fill out a top 5, it goes Mortal Kombat, Tomb Raider, Silent Hill, Doom. I want to say the last one has got to be probably Dead or Alive. You ever seen Dead or Alive, the fighting game
Oh no, yes,
movie?
no.
Yeah,
Oh my
with
God.
homegirl from My Name Is Earl.
They made a
As
movie
Tina?
out of that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
The game. Really?
Yeah, you have to watch it. It's worth watching.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
for what it is, the characters are kind of accurate to the characters in the game.
Yes, and I'm going to actually switch out your Doom with Kristen Kirk, Street Fighter.
No, that is horrible.
Sorry.
No, I will not sit here and hear this. Come on. Dude, really?
Yeah.
No. Why was Bison Irish? Why did the weird dude from Black Eyed Peas play Vega, where there's a billion Spanish actors that could have done it?
It was a good movie.
No, it wasn't.
I have a small crush on Kristen Kirk.
But that can't. That doesn't.
It's gonna sway it. It's gonna sway it.
That
I own it. I own it on Blu-ray. And yeah, it's
I'll take your Street Fighter, not the animated movie because that's godlike, but Street Fighter, The Legend of Chun-Li, and I will swap that out for Resident Evil 1.
Oh.
Another Paul W.S. Anderson hit.
I mean,
I hate the movie premise, but it's a good Resident Evil movie. I can't front it on that. I hate Alice.
Well, all right, this is going to be a story for
I
another
super
day,
hate Alice, but
Alice is terrible. It just goes off the rails once we get to the closing in.
I hate
the wall,
the Red Queen.
The Red Queen, it just...
I hate the compound. I hate all the new shit it adds.
And everything that came after that movie is not...
No. The best movie, I don't mean to get on a tangent, but the best Resident Evil film is the second one. Because it's the closest damn thing to the video game. You get Jill Valentine, you get Nemesis, you get stars, and you get the city. You're in Raccoon City. You're not in some weird-ass underground base that has nothing to do with the fucking game.
But I guess... that was the thing
you
that
still
made
get
Resident
liquors.
Evil cool, is that the first one was, again, a contained, but
it had nothing to do
movie,
with the game.
It was not.
It was Resident Evil in name alone.
Just the beginning, like with the red dress and her walking around.
I hate Alice.
Didn't they just
I hate
make
OCs.
another
You want a Mary Sue?
Resident Evil movie?
You want a Mary Sue example? Alice is the biggest Mary Sue in movie history. She is, I'm perfect. I cannot be defeated no matter what. You were supposed to love me. You're supposed to connect with me. I'm the strongest and I'm not a feared of nothing character with no stakes and no urgency of all time.
I'm going to put the last three Resident Evil movies up there.
I just watched the final chapter. It's trash.
I haven't watched it, but I'm going to put it right there with the Transformers franchise.
Garbage.
Like franchises that just need to go
just so off the
away
rails
and be like, this, we will never do anything like this ever again.
But
we've lost our way.
We've lost our way.
But moving back,
on.
And we can always cut that into a different,
That's a whole different list.
Dude,
top 10 video game adaptations.
I would like to get to the casting of Mortal Kombat.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's just fly through this.
So what we're going to do here, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to actually recast this movie for modern day with modern actors and a modern director.
And I just want to say, I kind of feel like I've been watching too many superhero movies, but it is.
I can. You know what? I'm right there with you.
Or it's what Hollywood's feeding us because we get the same damn 6 actors over and over.
I think our lists are going to be very different, but very the same.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's start with the director. Who do you want directing this bad boy?
I want to start with the company I want to make this film.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I can match you on that.
I'm going because it's going to set the tone. I want Blumhouse to do this film.
Horror.
I want to see a remake Blumhouse Mortal Kombat movie directed by Guillermo del Toro.
You know what? That is strong as shit. Because one, Guillermo will get the monsters right.
Dude.
For one, Guillermo loves action films.
He's batshit crazy. He's
brilliant as shit. He has sensibilities.
Yes, it's going to come across with Blumhouse.
That's strong as shit.
I freaking in on this. I want.
And what's funny is that I have a tie to Guillermo del Toro on my list, but we'll get there. That's strong. Okay, your setup is different than mine. Okay. But God, I respect it.
All right. Excellent.
Blumhouse, Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going in a more fun, not so much horror route, action route. I want legendary films to make it. The guys who made Pacific Rim and Godzilla. And this is a movie studio that just does cool shit. They don't make dramas. No. They don't make horror movies. They make just cool ass movies.
No. And when we were thinking about directors, Godzilla director was on my list
Mm-hmm.
of possible directors for this
But
movie.
I have a very unconventional director for this.
Yes.
And I think he will be awesome, and that's Brad Bird.
Brad Bird.
I want Brad Bird from The Incredibles and from Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol.
Yes.
Please don't count Tomorrowland, because that was not his fault.
You know, I never saw Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland was horrible.
No.
It's not his fault. That was Disney holding his hand. But Brad Bird has such a timing, directorial timing, and he has such a good action timing.
Okay. Well,
And he knows how to write a story.
you're going in a completely different route.
This is
than
what I love.
went
And
with
this
mine.
is
So
why I love
that's
doing these.
interesting. Yeah,
Because we're making
absolutely.
two totally different movies.
Absolutely.
Because your direction is going to be visually different than my direction. But I think Brad Bird would be a good complement to the action, the funness, the fantasy of Mortal Kombat.
You're keeping some of the sensibility of the first Mortal
You're
Kombat,
going more-
some of the humor.
You're going on. Mortal Kombat's two sides of a coin. Mortal Kombat is gore, fatalities, monsters, but it's also kung fu mystery
Yes.
and fantastical landscapes.
Yes.
So we're on two different sides of that coin.
Yes.
So this is going to get interesting. So let's go character for character. So let's start with Raiden.
Raiden.
Who's your choice for Raiden?
I'm going Mark Hamill.
Interesting.
I want to see
Interesting
Mark
as
Hamill,
shit.
and this is where I thought about keeping the fun because I
Mhm.
wanted to keep Christopher Lambert.
Yeah.
And I was like, how? Because I hate it, but it still works with the movie and it's
Mhm.
light. And I'm like, who could bring that type of lightness,
Interesting.
but yet fun to it? And you know, Mark Hamill can do that.
We're on totally different wavelengths with
Yeah.
this list because this was the hardest choice in my list.
Okay.
Because you need a veteran actor, an older actor, and you need someone who can actually pull off the moves. Because I want to see Raiden fight in this one. That's my thing. In my remake, I want Raiden to I want Titty Bubbly.
Not the Annihilation Raid.
No, not that guy.
Okay.
So I have two choices, which is a cop-out, but I can't choose between the two. My choice is Robin Shou, the original Liu Kang, to come back and play Raiden. I think that would be kind of cool and kind of a
Alright.
send up to the original movie.
Yeah.
But my true pick is Stephen Chow from Kung Fu Hustle.
Look at you.
He's whimsical. He can do the moves. And he doesn't have to speak English.
No.
You
No,
know,
absolutely
I would
not.
be super cool if everybody spoke English, but Raiden spoke Chinese or Japanese or whatever, and you just subtitle him.
Very cool.
I would think that would be kind of a weird take on that character.
Yeah.
He's this ancient, old, but he also is a child at heart, where you get that. Sorry,
And keeping with your light toner.
I want a
your
lighter
lighter
tone for my
yeah,
Mortal Kombat, but also
that'll
have the
absolutely work.
heaviness.
So
So next, who's your Liu Kang?
my Liu Kang
The star of the movie.
is Tony Jaa from
Interesting.
Ong
Interesting.
Bak.
Interesting.
Because Tony Jaa is the shit.
He's the
And
fucking.
if
He's
you
the
want a
man.
Liu Kang, someone who can pull off Liu Kang, I think that's Tony Jaa. So
And you
that's
feel
what I
that he
went
can
with.
carry this movie
Without
amongst
a
everybody
doubt,
else?
with the martial arts wise, if you want to go horror, if you want to go someone who's stacked up to fight, like Tony Jaa can bring.
And
bring
his
the-
English has gotten a lot better. If you sat through Triple X, the latest Triple X, Return of Xander Cage,
Yeah, no.
he's in that movie,
oh,
and he holds his own. He has his own speaking roles. He can probably do that.
if
you
you've
know?
not gone back and seen on Bak 2 some of Tony Jaa's earlier stuff, I mean, as far as a martial artist goes, he stands up with some of the best ever.
Good.
So- How about you?
My Liu Kang is is more of a no-name actor, but I've seen him in a couple of things, and I really liked him in it. And he has the acting chops, and I think he has the look of Liu Kang, and that's Louis Tan. You may not recognize his name because he played Shatterstar in Deadpool 2, and he was also in the Netflix Iron Fist. He's like an American Japanese actor. He has the look. He started off as a stunt choreographer, so he has the moves. And if you've seen Deadpool 2, he doesn't really get a lot of play because of how that movie turns out. No spoilers. But if you watch Iron Fist, he does a move. There's a scene between him and Iron Fist, and he does drunken kung fu, and he's convincing as shit. He acts his ass off in that split second he's in it, and I think he can carry the movie. Me personally, for my Mortal Kombat, Liu Kang.
One of the good things about Iron Fist.
He's probably the best part about Iron Fist is that
Because-
drunken kung fu match.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
he's talking the whole way through and explaining, man, like the only thing that can really quelch my dragon is alcohol. Because
Yeah.
I feel so much pain through what I've been through. This is the only way I can stay sane.
And
And he gives Iron Fist to run for his money.
he is pretty good in that match.
You know what I'm
That is a
saying?
pretty
So
good
that
match.
guy is my Liu Kang. So who's your Shang Tsung?
That is the one I have nothing. I'm keeping Shang Tsung.
Okay.
That's just the way it is.
But-
Your soul is mine. That's it.
It's hard to recast Carrie. It's really hard to, but you
Very
have
hard.
to. You
Wow.
kind of have to. If I'm going to keep, because with these casting lists, I try not to do doubles,
Yes.
and especially in the exact same role.
Yes.
Which was my cop out for Robin coming back as Raiden. Because
Correct.
he's not coming back as Liu Kang.
So I'm
No,
keeping my cop out.
That's fine.
You got to have one.
I hear you. That's fine. My Shang Tsung goes back to your Guillermo del Toro tie, and I think would make for the best final fight in the movie, and that's Donnie Yen.
Donnie Yen.
He's played villains before. For those who don't know who Donnie Yen is, he's Ip Man,
Yeah.
and he's also in Star Wars Rebel
Yeah.
Rebel 1.
Donnie Yen. He could pull that off.
He can play the bad guy. He can have the all white eyes. You can de-age him, you can age him.
Yeah, I like that.
And of course, he's one of the most nimble martial artists in the industry right now.
Yeah,
And he can have that comedic timing
for sure.
that Shang Tsung had. He can have that swagger. And I can see him in the last fight going ballistic in that role.
That's pretty good. I did not think of Donnie Yen.
So I would love Donnie Yen. It was either Donnie Yen or Jet Li. And Jet Li's too wooden for me.
No, he's not gonna. Jet Li's not gonna pull that off. I don't
So
believe.
Donnie Yen would do it.
Yeah.
He has the comedic timing. He has the acting chops.
he has the range.
He has the range
for that
to be that villainous
in
mustache
a comic
twirling
book film.
In a
You know
comic
what
book
I
film.
mean? Like
Right. All right. Here's a tough one. Who's your Johnny Cage?
But Johnny Cage, this was a tough one. This was one of my other tough ones.
This is a tough one.
I went with Chris Evans simply because Chris Evans has that comedic timing that Johnny Cage, brought. And he also has that wooden, I'm just here carrying the movie. Like he does in the Avengers a lot of the time where he's just, don't mind me. I'm just carrying the plot of this movie, whatever.
Hey.
Mild-mannered Chris Evans.
Big surprise. My Johnny Cage is Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. There you
Because he just, A, he has the look.
go. Yes.
B, he has the comedic timing. C, he has the acting chops. D, he could pull off the action roles because that fight scene all his fight scenes in Winter Soldier are amazing.
Right.
Even if it's him or not, it's still convincing. And I saw a lot of Chris Evans in Johnny Cage in this movie. Some of the same lines. He could just say word for word, and I heard Chris Evans.
It took me a little while to get with Chris Evans, but with the film that I'm building, everything's just a tad bit bigger.
Yeah.
So I was okay with having a bulkier Johnny Cage.
Me too. And
So-
you need that American star
Yeah.
that's going to pull people in, and that's Chris Evans.
Yeah.
So tougher than that. Who's your Sonya Blade?
Emily Blunt.
Fuck it.
Fuck it. Emily Blunt, bro. That's when I got the idea for this. I'm like, you know what? I can see Emily Blunt and Sonya Blade kicking some
Because
bodies.
honestly, Emily Blunt was always my Black Widow.
Yeah.
Always.
go.
She still is my Black Widow, fingers crossed. But she's so badass. And she's so no nonsense.
No nonsense.
And she so kicks your ass. And this was hard for me because I was having a hard time finding an American actress who's both has a look, who's young enough, who's not too old, and who reminds me of the actress in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And mine is a more unconventional pick, and I don't think a lot of people are going to feel it, but it's my pick. And that's Maggie Grace, if you know who that is. From Taken, from
yeah.
Twilight series. She's a young blonde.
No.
She has a serious look on her face. She can act. She could probably pull off the choreography, at least to the level.
Well, I was about to say, because the level of choreography that Sonya Blade has in this movie
is limited.
It's not deep.
So that's not a problem.
Yeah, no, it's not deep. So
And she could be a good foil to Chris Evans.
Okay, yeah, I mean,
She's not a big star, and honestly, most of the stars I would like are either too old are too soft looking in the face.
She absolutely could get a paycheck for that movie.
But
She'd
I would
be
choose
like,
your choice before my choice.
I'm
Honestly.
taking Emily Blunt every single day.
Good times. So who's your katana?
My katana, Christian Kirk.
Sorry.
Sorry.
You have a thing for Kristen Kirk, don't you?
Yeah, I do, but she absolutely looks like it. She can pull off the moves, which she has done in both Beauty and the Beast and Smallville.
Okay.
She has the body shape. She has the black hair. Like, she can easily pull off Princess Katana. And even though I don't believe she gets enough credit for her acting chops, because she does, WB stuff.
Yeah.
Please stop doing WB stuff. She has acting chops. So, no.
Remember in Smallville where she got possessed by that Chinese West witch spirit? So garbage. Smallville was ups and downs.
WB.
And
There's kind of a whitewashing that happens in WB, and not
right.
by character.
And that's why on my
story.
list, I tried really hard not to whitewash any of the characters.
No.
Just to save myself the headache.
Yes.
But my katana is Kelly Hu.
Oh, yeah. You go with Kelly Hu.
She was Lady Deathstrike in X-Men 2. She has small roles here and there. She's mostly like a character actor.
Yeah, I don't...
She has the look. She looks regal. She's just the perfect looking Asian American princess.
I have no issues with Kelly Hu
And she could do
whatsoever.
And she could do the moves. So that's my Kelly. That's my choice. Kelly Hu, katana. Who's your Kano? I wonder if we're on the same page with our Kano too.
This is out of left field, but I'm gonna go Christian Bale.
Interesting. Explain yourself.
I'm going with Christian Bale simply because Christian Bale has the depth for "Hey, baby."
Okay, I can see.
Like, he can come across as like a dirty dude. For like
Christian Bale has
1
range
minute.
out of his ass.
And when you think back to Psycho and you think back to The Mechanic, if you put a little prosthetic on this man, and then Batman,
and then bulk him up,
and you bulk up like Christian Bale Batman, and you have him walk out on the beach and give him a short 5, 6, 7 minute, scene.
Hey, baby, I've studied all your moves.
I've studied up. Christian Bale is going to be my one for that.
Okay, I think I got you beat.
Okay.
I think I got you beat on this one because my Kano is Andy Serkis.
Oh, Andy Serkis is not my Kano.
Kano's
is my something else though.
See, we're on the same wavelength.
Yeah, we are on the same wavelength.
You know what sold it for me was his claw. You throw a cybernetic ion claw and it's just Kano.
And it's just Kano. Okay.
Pufferfish. I hate pufferfish, Sonya. He was, if you saw Black Panther, he was kind of yoked in that movie. He had the salt and pepper hair. He had the accent. You just throw a cybernetic eye on him and it's just Kano.
I will give you that, and I'll just move right into it. I see Andy Serkis more as Goro. I'm sorry, you want to come off of CGI done correctly, and I took the closest thing to Goro, which is the worst CGI I've seen in a while, and put him with a personality, and that's going to come across as Snoke. And if you give Snoke 2 more arms and stand him up, you may have Goro in your hands.
You know, it's funny because I went the CG route with Goro too. It shouldn't be an actor in a suit. It should be like Incredible Hulk kind of CG-a-thon.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to pull off Goro.
Fine.
Right.
But my Goro has kind of in your same wavelength is Keith David, the voice of Keith David. He was in The Thing. He was Goliath in Gargoyles. That voice. He was in Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
I didn't take it out for air.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
So he has that weight to his voice. And I think he can play a graspy, kind of holier than thou, kind of tough ass Goro.
But Gollum? Snoke.
When it comes to the body language, no one's going to defeat Andy Serkis.
No, but when you look at those 3 characters, it's like Goro. Now that I'm thinking about it, they're like smaller versions of Goro. Each one of them. Why is every character gray?
Because gray is the universal alien look, man.
Like,
It's
what
the
is
universal.
going on?
It's the other.
Can't we get somebody?
What's the
Andy
weirdest?
Serkis, can you please play someone blue?
Other
Are you
than
go in
other than
Avatar?
black or white. What's the weirdest color a human being could be that's the most jarring? It's gray. Vampires are gray.
I actually found in Star Trek the little bug thing that was watching Chris Pine and the chick have sex.
Yeah.
Yellow or something.
Yeah.
I found that really off-putting as like
See?
a color on a human.
Earth tones,
Okay.
man. Earth tones. So let's get into the ninjas.
Yep.
And the ninjas aren't really actors.
No.
So I went all guys who are technically martial artists, but are also action stars. So they know the role. So let's go with your Scorpion. Who's your Scorpion?
Michael Fassbender.
What?
Yeah, get over here, man.
What?
Get
He's
over
like,
here.
What? We're
Yeah, I can
going
abs-
totally different places.
Yeah, I can absolutely.
But he's
see.
not going to want to be behind that mask
I
the whole
don't
time.
care what he wants to be. Here's your check, bro. Like,
Damn.
go behind the mask, take the body language, come on out, and get over here. Like,
Okay.
you don't have that much to do. And Michael Fassbender's Magneto,
Fine.
dude,
But Magneto, Scorpion's not a talker, though.
he doesn't need to be a talker.
That's why you just
needs
voice
to-
him over.
I'm not gonna voice him over. He's not talking.
Fair enough.
I
I
just need the body language. I need someone who can pull off those moves.
It's Hugo Weaving in V for Vendetta, right? But then Hugo Weaving was acting so much through his voice in that it was Hugo.
Right. But all I'm saying is that when I think about Sub-Zero and his role in Mortal Kombat,
Okay.
that's...
I was thinking more about this movie. If I was to remake this movie in a white room.
Oh, no. I'm
with this
recasting
voiceless.
Mortal Kombat
Okay. See.
for a reboot, and I want these characters with Blumhouse
See?
doing it. Yes.
Okay. See. Okay. I went with a different direction. My Scorpion is Iko Uwais. He was the main character in The Raid. Guy doesn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
He's a badass. He's Indonesian action star. He'll give a different flavor because all my ninjas have different fighting styles from different countries.
Yes.
So they're not so cookie cutter. So my Scorpion, he has that visceral, will punch your mouth into a desk and crack your spine kind of fighting style, very close quarters, and just throw a voice. Just have the original voice actor from the game get over here. Have him just voice him over. That's your Scorpion.
Okay, we went different places. So
Okay.
so that's cool. You're Sub-Zero?
My Sub-Zero is another unknown, but the guy, for those who know him, the guy is a freaking beast. And that's Scott Adkins. He's very unknown. He's an American martial artist. He was in movies like The Undisputed, and he was in Doctor Strange for a split second. But the guy can fight his ass off. He's one of the new age kind of martial artists. Like, he has some UFC ties to him, but he is a beast. And I think that for the sake of this movie, for Mortal Kombat 1, directed by Brad Bird, you want an action star who can carry the fight. I want bomb-ass fight scenes.
Yeah.
End of the day, I want sick-ass fight scenes and beautiful-ass locations.
Absolutely.
And Scott Adkins will beat the shit out of anybody and put up a good fight and have good choreography.
I went with Cumberbatch, bro. The Sub-Zero.
What?
Doctor Strange, man.
Oh,
Are you freaking kidding me?
He's not going to be able to do the moves.
What do you mean he can't do the moves?
He's not going to be able to do the moves.
There's only one fight scene with Liu Kang. Let's go.
I want the moves to be nuts, though.
Let's call this a day, though. These fight moves, this choreographing is not.
But for our remake, I want sick-ass Wu
For
Ping
your remake.
Fine. We're
For
going in
my
different
remake,
directions.
I want,
You want acting.
acting, yes.
Fine.
Someone who can pull, a big globe of ice and throw it and make it look convincing.
See, I want
what
these
I
guys.
saw from Cumberbatch in Infinity War, throwing crap around and warping crap. No, I want that for Sub-Zero.
Interesting.
You can teach someone how to throw a kick, bro.
No, you.
Hey, look over to your left. I have martial art belts.
Yeah.
You can teach
teach
someone.
anybody.
So I don't want to hear that.
Fine.
All right.
We're making different movies.
We're
and
making
I love
different
it.
movies.
And
I have
love
Emily
it.
Blunt.
Right.
Okay? I have
Right.
Emily Blunt. So I have my badass. We're going horror. I just need two dudes who can make it look convincing and not say anything.
Who's your reptile? Reptile.
You know what? I don't think I cast Reptile.
That's fine, because I can sub in mine.
All right.
My Reptile is Tony Jaa.
That's funny.
That's funny, right?
That's really funny.
He doesn't have to say much.
He can absolutely...
He's a completely different fighting style.
Why don't you want Tony Jaa saying too much?
Because I want them to be able to just... I want their strengths to shine.
And that's what I'm saying about Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
I don't need... For the sake of
Get
this
over
movie,
here,
I don't need them to be... That's what I mean. That's what the Trinity's for.
But their famous moves need to be... They're CGI moves.
But these guys can still carry weight when it comes to talking. I can see Tony Jaa jumping around doing snake style, beating the shit out of Liu Kang.
I can totally see Tony Jaa doing it.
Going nuts.
Without a doubt.
All three ninjas have all three fighting styles, all three personalities.
Who's your Jax?
Michael Jai White.
I went John Boyega.
That's fine. John Boyega's coming up. He's a young actor. He can grow into the role. He's kind of cut.
You put him with a box cut, he kind of looks like the Detroit movie.
And I wouldn't mind an English-sounding Jax.
No,
Makes sense.
That's fine.
They're like Interpol. I want Michael Jai White because I just want him I want him in everything.
Yeah, all right, martial artist.
And
I get it.
he still looks like he's 20. The guy just doesn't age. He's ripped to shit. He's a legit martial artist.
Legit.
Give him Jax.
Legit. All right.
And lastly, I don't know, who did you cast as your cameo Shao Kahn?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Clancy Brown for the voice. Because I want it to be CG too.
I want it to be CG, and but I don't. I want the light CG, so I want the Rock in that, but then some CG elements, because I believe the Rock can absolutely 100% pull off. Who did we get in Annihilation? I don't remember.
The guy from X-Files.
Yeah, not big enough.
Fine, that's the problem.
Not big enough.
Shao Kahn is stupid, weird, juggernaut-sized dude.
The Rock is stupid, weird.
Yeah.
He's just a little short.
If I can pick any human being that breathes to be Shao Kahn, it would probably be the Mountain from from freaking Game of Thrones. That fucking guy.
That dude is.
But yours
massive.
is more acting. So, and Dwayne can act.
And in the face, I see Shao Kahn in that face. If
I'm
you put
totally
in the
fine
white
with that.
CGI.
Mine's is more action, so I would have the Mountain be the body and Clancy Brown be the VO.
There you go.
And let's tally up our movies here.
My movie cost I'm gonna keep it to a $70 million budget.
I want my movie to be stupid. Infinity War.
$250 million.
I want my movie to be $300-400 million.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. That's too much pressure.
I want nuts. I want it to be nuts. I want to see Outworld. I want to be able to breathe. I want to be able to smell it.
And that's why I went to Blumhouse, because I want to keep it grounded, but get some horror and really good acting. And
my movie, it's the difference between our movies is your fatalities will be shown, mine will be cut away. Yeah. But at the same time, my fight scenes will be better, but your acting will be better. Right?
It is what it is.
But they're both Mortal Kombat movies.
Hollywood, call us.
Call us. We got it ready for you.
We have it, and I will take very, very minimal dollars.
Now, right. On a scale from 1 to 5, 0 being Freddy Got Fingered, 5 being frickin' The Godfather, where do you rate Mortal Kombat 1995 on that scale? I
rate it as repeatable, watchable every single time it's on. It's one of those ones that when you see it and it's on TBS, you're like, oh, I can't really flip past this.
I can't fall asleep.
I'm just going to sit here and watch Mortal Kombat for the 110th time. So, film-wise, it's definitely not a 5, but, I mean, that's got to rank for something, man.
It's a solid 3 for me. If I'm being real, it's entertaining as hell. I watch it every time it comes on. The moment you turn it on, you're in. But is it masterpiece cinema? No, it's not supposed to. That's not what it's built for. But for what it does, it's a 4.5. Yeah. But in the grand scheme of the macro of the nerdiverse, it's a 3.5 at best. The acting's not spot on. The graphics are shoddy. But it's a product of his time.
Your soul is mine.
No!
Mortal Kombat.
Exactly. You can't. What are you gonna do?
You not geek out.
What are you gonna do? How do you not geek out every time you see it? So, what are your last thoughts about this film? Final
it was
thoughts.
A great rewatch. Actually, I want to say I think it got better with time because you know the older I get, the less I want in a movie. You know, I only need an Infinity War. You know, once or twice a year.
Yeah,
something that's low budget and putting on the entertainment factor. I'm good with that at this stage.
Man, I totally echo your sentiment. This is a time capsule movie. Like with Back to the Future and freaking Home Alone, where it just takes you to a time in your life. And no matter how old you get, no matter how good the graphics get, no matter how many Infinity War Billions and Spider-Man Homecomings come out, this still holds up to those movies.
Without a doubt.
Because it's timeless.
And this movie is way better than Spider-Man 2, 3, The Amazing Spider-Man. Now that you mention it, I will watch Mortal Kombat over it.
I'll watch Mortal Kombat over any of those, unfortunately.
Iron Man 3.
X-Men 3.
X-Men 3, I'll take.
Thor the Dark World.
Like, if you want to do like a fight, what's that? Celebrity fight, cinema fights, whatever
Celebrity
it's called.
Deathmatch.
Like, yeah, I will put Mortal Kombat up against quite a few.
And it just holds up.
Marvel movie.
It's a fine wine.
But I also wanted to ask, did we ever get a Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat game?
No, because there's an answer to this, but it's bootleg. Is that there is a Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter game, but it is 1 bootleg, 2 illegal, and 3 runs like shit. If you in the back alleys of cons and video game stores, in the internet, if you whisper Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter, you'll find something, and it'll run. But it's the worst piece of shit, unbalanced piece of shit in the world, and it's absolutely Pirate Bay, illegal. Companies will never come to terms with that shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you find yourself in the back alley of a con.
Ask for Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat versus
Street
I
Fighter.
did not know that. I will.
And for those who are really
MK
in there,
versus SF.
Look up Sailor Moon and the 7 Balls as well. Actually, don't look that up.
I was
don't
like,
look that up.
Dude, no, that doesn't sound
that's
like
in the back
that's
alley as well.
Yeah, this is back alley as well.
That's back alley
What's the
as well.
Hogwarts? The alley called the.
Shoot. I suck at Harry Potter.
Yeah, all
dude.
right, fair enough. So do I. So, at any rate, thank you for having me. It's been great talking some MK Mortal Kombat with you.
Absolutely. So, Brian, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Brian J. Wash, on Instagram at B Washington, and on YouTube at Brian Washington.
Absolutely. If you like this content, and if you're listening to this, you may be a Patreon subscriber. And at the Patreon, and at the inexpensive price of $5 a month, that is less than what you pay for lunch, you will get all of our exclusive MOTN content, which includes our movie reviews, such as this one, MOTN Top 10s, and also our MOTN Cinema, where we do riff tracks on movies that are either amazing or silly. You can always find this podcast at mastersofthenerdiversecast.com. That is our website where you can actually listen to older episodes. And visit our Patreon, where you can join us, like I said, once again. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, SoundCloud, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Google Play, and Spotify. I've been your host, Mike G. And I will always ask you to look towards the skies. Look towards the skis.